The narcissist knew what you didn't. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So, the insurmountable advantage that the toxic person you're considering had over you until you figured it out, it was a very, very, very huge advantage they had over you. Remember, the narcissist knew who you were before you knew who you were, and they knew who they were long before you figured out who they were. The narcissist has a sixth sense, a predatory instinct, if you will. And what they want to do is scour the globe searching for supply sources, searching for people to trick, to trap, to manipulate, and to take advantage of. Now, the narcissist does know their days are numbered. I've illustrated that over the last few weeks in videos. I'll continue to touch on that as the shift continues to take place and the momentum of the empath or the educated empath continues to devour or extinguish the narcissists on the planet. Now, when I say that, what I'm referring to is the narcissists, plural, don't have many places to hide these days. Their days are numbered, and the rocks that they're going to have to hide underneath are becoming fewer and further between. That is all for a different video, and if you know what I'm talking about, you should continue to drop comments below, and if you don't, you should go back in time and continue to watch videos that I've created. But as I've been sharing for a long period of time, the narcissist had a big advantage over you. Some may say a monumental advantage. Everything changes, everything shifts in your favor, in your advantage once you get the wisdom. Now, when you get the wisdom, what I'm referring to is when you finally figured out what narcissism was. So let's say that you were discarded, hypothetically. And if you were, my heart goes out to you, but you didn't know what narcissism was. You had no idea. And your whole world ended just like that, or the familiar world that you were a part of. This was meant to inflict the most damage upon you, the maximum damage, if you will. It was meant to twist your world upside down, leave you penniless, leave you without a support system, leave you trapped in the narcissistic fog, and leave you blaming yourself and looking for answers to questions that you would have or perhaps you hadn't had yet, i.e. closure. The narcissist will never give you or anybody closure. The narcissist doesn't want to give closure, and they can't, because if the narcissist were to give somebody closure, then what would happen? Well, that would be them facing reality of what they have done, and that would create a monumental, a massive, and irreparable narcissistic injury of which they would never recover from. You see, that's the one thing that very few people understand. The narcissist is shallow, they're hollow, they're a coward, they're a bully, they're an abuser and a manipulator, and they blend into the fabric of society. But what these people really are, the narcissists, they're weak. They wanted you to believe that they were strong. They are weak without people. They are weak without supply. They are weak without people that they can glom onto and capture and trap and trick. The narcissist out for themselves, meaning without a supply source, they're worthless, and they know it. When no one pays attention to the narcissist, what happens? Well, then they have to stir the pot and get attention, get the spotlight back on them. Why do you think the narcissistic abusive cycle continues to go around and around in a loop? And it goes like this: the love bomb or the euphoric stage, because not every narcissistic relationship involves somebody falling in love with somebody, so euphoric stage. Once the narcissist has their dirty fangs sunken into somebody, then enter the devaluation stage. The devaluation stage is the longest part of the toxic narcissistic abusive cycle. When that part ends, there's your discard, or if you removed yourself from the narcissistic relationship any way you cut it, that's the ending of the relationship. And at times, there is what is known as a hoover. You must become unhooverable. You must not accept a hoover, not entertain it, and you need to batten down the hatches and close all avenues of communication with said person, if not now, when? Now, having said all those things, this is why the narcissist needs supply. This is why they're loyal to nobody. It's why they care about nobody. And it's why they continue to slither through this planet searching for what they don't have or what they deem to be better than what they did have. It all comes to a head for the narcissist eventually. Way more than you would ever know, way more than they wanted you to know, and way more than they even knew. That's a mouthful right there. Why I'm saying that is because, remember, the narcissist experiences these narcissistic injuries. These are things you don't experience, and the reason why is because you're not a narcissist. Isn't it good to be you? Damn straight it is. It's great to be you. It's better to be you once you've healed and once you're out of the narcissistic cycle and when you're out of the jaws of the narcissist, which is why you must cut the four ties: the emotional tie, the financial tie, the physical tie, and the spiritual tie. And as you cut those, you get stronger. as you get stronger, the narcissist becomes weaker than you ever even thought possible. And the weaker they get, the less they matter to you. The less they matter to you, the more they have to look elsewhere for what is known as supply. Now, all of these things equal a couple very important things. One, the narcissist knows what they're doing. Number two, you now have the wisdom, or you are acquiring it. And number three, you now realize that you are stronger than you know, and you have to go no contact, and you have to block that person and delete them. The narcissist will continue to repeat the same behaviors. They will continue to repeat the same mannerisms, tactics, techniques, and abusive tactics that they use, because the narcissist has an insurmountable advantage. Yeah, I've said it 3 times, maybe even 4 in this video, over unsuspecting people. They don't have that advantage over you any longer. As a matter of fact, they should have no advantage over you at all. And they won't once you cut the 4 ties. But that's why once you get the wisdom, you need to apply the tools. That's why once you go no contact, you need to maintain no contact. And once you understand what the narcissist never wanted you to figure out, you need to get as far away from that person as fast as you possibly can. You need to run for the hills. And why I share all those things is, think about this. Right now, let's say you're out of the relationship, and let's say you came back today on a Saturday, and today should be April 18th, wherever you are. I believe it's the 18th. Whatever the date is, 18th, I think. If you're out and you've healed, you know what it took for you to heal. You also know how horrible it was, and I'm being very polite with my words, it was for you to be trapped in a narcissistic cycle. Now you know something that very few people will ever know. You have wisdom. And this is a superpower, and it is a superpower on steroids when you wrap your head around the fact that you know something that very few people will ever know. My take on this, and you can agree or not agree, drop comments below, whatever you think. My take on this is, I believe sincerely there is a very, very small amount of people who have ever understood exactly how toxic and challenging and debilitating and life-threatening the narcissistic relationship is. You are one of those people. So am I. That's why it's so easy for your average everyday person who wasn't in a narcissistic abusive cycle and doesn't even know what narcissism is but thinks they do. That's why it's so easy for those people to tell you, oh, what's the big deal? Get out, start dating again. Or I watch videos, I know what you're talking about. I experienced that too. Or, oh, have thick skin, that's just the way they are. They treat everybody. Well, all these people, and that's the majority of people on the planet, they don't get it, and they won't until when? That's right, until it's too late. Until the narcissist sinks their dirty fangs into them, and it is very, very possible that would happen. I've shared this in videos in recent days, and I'll share it again. When you do your part and go no contact, then you help out yourself. You benefit yourself and those loved and trusted ones around you. When I do my part, as I've done and I continue to, and I will for the rest of my life, then that is 2 people that have gone no contact. When we do our part and other people do their part, then the collective consciousness, the empathy of the planet, if you will, is getting stronger. As we get stronger, the narcissist gets weaker, and their advantage is beginning to dissipate. It's beginning to disappear. It's beginning to become overridden with empathy. Think about what I'm mentioning to you. You should really go back in time, I would say about a month or so, and start watching the videos. If you haven't yet, you should. Of my videos that I created, I would say about a month ago, maybe even a little bit earlier. Why I'm telling you all of these things is the narcissist had that advantage over you. They knew what you didn't know, and they didn't want you to figure it out. And this is with the person you're considering. It's with any toxic narcissistic workplace bully / narcissistic workplace boss. It's with a lot of other organizations and communities, which I will not get into. What I will share is, once you're out, you need to stay out. And you need to realize that the narcissist doesn't fight fair. They fight dirty. They need enablers, flying monkeys, and people that are subservient to them. They need people to do work for them. They need people to blame, to trick, to trap, and to manipulate. And they will continue to do what they do until they can't any longer. And you may say, well, when is that going to happen? When aren't they going to be able to do it? I'll just be blunt with you. It's when they take their last breath, because these people go down swinging, and they will take anybody down for the count with them. That is why you are different than virtually everybody that person that you're considering has ever met, because you've healed, or you are healing. You cracked the code, you figured it out. Most people won't do that. They really won't. And you may say, well, what makes me so special? What makes you special is you made it this far in the video. What makes you special is you're determined to break the chains. What makes you special is you are a generational curse breaker. What makes you special is you have purpose. You have empathy, you have love. You know what it's like to be on both ends of the narcissistic relationship, which means to be trapped, captured, and used and abused and manipulated like a pawn or a puppet or a punching bag. Sorry to say that, but figuratively, not literally. And you also know what it's like to be free, to be liberated, to be healed, to have all of the abundance right around you. Think about what I'm mentioning to you. Think about how far you've come. Think about what you've had to do to get where you are. Once you accomplish what you've accomplished, which means stay stuck in the narcissistic abusive cycle, believe in someone else, listen to their false narrative, believe in the mask and all their misdirections, and tolerate all the abuse. Then you get discarded, and then you have to figure it out, and then you have to heal. And this is a long road, all of it, not meant to trigger you, upset you. Then when you heal and you look back and say, oh my gosh, was that a dream? Was that a movie? Was it a nightmare? Was that a thriller? Was it a drama? Was it an action? Was it a mystery? Was it a horror? It was all of those things rolled up into one, and it was your life. You need to understand that part of your life is over. It's changed the trajectory of your life forever. You are now either at or arriving at the mountaintop of indifference, and no longer does anybody energetically have an advantage over you. Why did I say the word energetically? Remember what I told you about the 3-minute mark. The narcissist has a sixth sense. That sixth sense is predatory. You now have acquired your own sixth sense. Truth be told, you've tapped into it. You've activated it. Not a predatory instinct or a predatory sixth sense. You have a defensive sixth sense, which will always beat the predatory sixth sense of the narcissist. Again, I'll share this, then I will close the video. Imagine you're playing chess, the game of chess. If you don't know how to play chess, I suggest you pick it up and try to spend a little bit of time to figure it out, because the narcissist was playing chess with you that whole relationship while you were probably playing checkers. I can say that because that's what happened with me. But in the game of chess, there are only a couple outcomes. One, the white team wins. B, the black team wins, or side, whatever you want to call it. Or 3, it's a stalemate. In this thing called the narcissistic abusive cycle, there is only one outcome. Checkmate, you win. You need to play that part of the video and play it multiple times. This is not a game of chess. This is your life. But the narcissist was toying with you, manipulating you, moving you around on an invisible chessboard, trying to call checkmate on you and your existence. They failed, and they know it. That's why once you get the wisdom, you need to go no contact. You need to understand that the narcissist knew so much about things that you never knew. And truth be told, they know right now exactly way more than you know about what they did to you. There comes a point on everyone's healing journey when you say to yourself, I'm good, I know enough, I am done, I'm going no contact, I'm blocking them, I don't need to know more. As a matter of fact, I don't want to know more, because that person I'm considering, yes, the narcissist, they're pitiful, they're pathetic, they're toxic, they're challenging, they're anxiety riddled, and they're horrible, horrible individuals that are just continually being jealous, envious, and continue to get worse over time. Because that's your narcissist in a nutshell. They all, and I mean all, become the aging narcissist. And the aging narcissist is, say it with me, ding, ding, ding. That's right, the aging narcissist is not, and I repeat, not a pretty sight to see. So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it. From the absolutely amazing, lush, beautiful green Carolinas, this is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning, no matter where you are on the planet. You are not alone. I love you all, and I'll talk with you tomorrow. Couple things. I have sunblock on, so it may look like my eye is a little not as clear as it should be, but sunblock, because it's OMG, is it hot here. And number 2, I want to share with you this. Realize something. The narcissist had a monumental advantage over you. They have an advantage over everybody who doesn't have the wisdom. I will say it one more time. The narcissist has a very huge, if you want to say monumental, advantage over anyone who doesn't know who they are, which is why the narcissist is a shapeshifter. It's why they wear masks. It's why they manipulate. It's why they don't care about people. It's why they hop from this relationship to that one, from that one to that one, from that one to that one, that one to that one. And that's why they can never sustain anything. So you need to understand this wasn't your fault. You were targeted. And once you're out, you need to stay out. I love you all, and I'll talk with you tomorrow. Bye, everybody. Bye.